right, so are you ready for a deep dive?
Yeah.
This one is unlike any other we've done before. Instead of tackling a stack of articles, we usually have a bunch of different sources, we're going to focus on a single source, a single document, and that is a resume. This isn't just anyone's resume, though. It belongs to Adrian Anghel.
Oh, yeah.
And even a quick glance tells you this is someone who really goes all in on everything he does.
Yeah.
So today's challenge is, can we decode Adrian's skills, his passions, maybe even get a glimpse into his future, all from this one document?
You know, it's almost like piecing together a puzzle. We're going to use his experiences and achievements like clues, and I think it's fascinating how much you can actually learn about someone's approach to life, from their resume.
Right, exactly. Okay, let's start with the basics.
Okay.
We see Adrian's based in Bucharest. He's got all his contact info laid out really neatly, and we can figure out that he was born in 1993. So early 30s, already packing a pretty serious resume. But then you hit the skills section.
And it's not just the quantity, right? It's striking. You see Excel, Power BI, Agile methodologies. He's even got stuff like the Adobe Creative Suite. Yeah. Clearly not afraid to just dive into different fields.
Though it's almost overwhelming.
Yeah.
You've got data analysis skills right next to project management tools, and then you see things like prompt engineering. I mean, what kind of projects is he working on that require that kind of range?
Well, I think that's the key, right? It's what we would call targeted breadth. It suggests that you have someone who can adapt to a lot of different needs, but they have very clear areas of expertise.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and I think it speaks to a larger trend that we're seeing, which is this rise of the multi-hyphenate professional, someone who's very comfortable wearing a lot of different hats.
Oh, that's a great point. So he's not limiting himself to one box.
Exactly.
And you know what else caught my eye? Were the two quotes that he chose to include.
Oh, yeah.
One from Thomas Edison about persistence, and the other from Robert Schuller about seeing problems as guidelines.
Those are more than just motivational posters that you would see, right? It gives you kind of a peek into his mindset. This is not someone who is going to back down from a challenge, right? He sees these obstacles as opportunities to learn and to grow.
Okay, so we're starting to get a sense of who Adrian is. But let's see how this translates into his actual work experience. Currently, he's a digitalization expert at Siemens Energy. Now, that sounds impressive, but what does it really mean?
Well, that's where we got to read between the lines a little bit.
Right.
The job title is just the starting point. Look at his accomplishments, even in the first few months at the company. Developing PowerApps, creating a SharePoint site, building Power BI dashboards. These are all tools for solving very specific business problems.
And he's not just listing them off either.
Right.
He's actually quantifying the impact.
Yeah.
For example, he streamlined approvals for something called technical deviations, which saved the company an estimated 25,000 euros per year.
So that's the difference, right, between describing tasks and showcasing the value. He's thinking like someone who understands the bottom line, not just checking boxes on a to-do list.
Right.
And notice the variety, too.
Yeah.
It points to someone who's comfortable working across different platforms and systems.
Okay, but this is where things get really interesting to me. He talks about building an AI agent using Power Automate. Now, Power Automate is a tool that lets you automate tasks, but he's gone a step further. He created an AI that actually monitors Teams chats and SharePoint data to proactively answer user questions. That's not just automation. That's like having a digital assistant.
Exactly. And it actually connects to a bigger trend in the workplace, right? This rise of what they call intelligent automation. Yeah. He isn't just automating these repetitive tasks. He's leveraging AI to anticipate needs and streamline the flow of information.
So he's not just keeping up with the technology, he's actually thinking ahead about how to use it to create a more efficient and intuitive work environment.
And I think that kind of forward thinking is what really sets people apart in this fast-paced world that we live in today.
All right, so we've seen what he's doing now, but let's rewind a bit. Before Siemens Energy, Adrian held several roles at HP Inc. Again, we see a lot of data analysis, partner management, suggesting he's comfortable working on a global scale.
And here's something I find intriguing.
Yeah.
His experience as an Agile coach.
Oh, wow.
He wasn't just using Agile methodologies himself. He was actually teaching other people how to implement them effectively.
That makes sense when you think about those quotes that we talked about earlier.
Right.
He seems really passionate about problem solving, but also about sharing his knowledge and empowering others.
It also hints at leadership potential, right?
Right.
Even without having a formal management title, he's demonstrating the ability to guide and mentor other people.
Yeah, which is so crucial in these collaborative environments these days.
Exactly.
Now, there's a section for what he calls archived roles.
Oh.
And this is where we see some intriguing twists. He worked as a casino dealer. He had a stint in tobacco production. What's your take on this?
I think it paints a picture of someone who's not afraid to roll up his sleeves and try different things. A lot of people might shy away from listing those kinds of experiences on their resume, but he owns it.
Yeah, he does.
And it suggests adaptability and a willingness to learn even outside of what might be considered his comfort zone.
Yeah, that's a great point. In a world that's changing so rapidly, that kind of adaptability could be a huge asset.
Yeah.
He's shown he can thrive in different environments.
Yeah.
And that's something that a lot of resumes just don't convey.
It also speaks to this larger point about career paths not always being linear.
Right.
Sometimes the most valuable experiences come from these unexpected places.
All right, so we've covered a lot of ground already, but we haven't even touched on the most exciting part, which is Adrian's personal accomplishments. This is where his resume truly comes alive.
Yeah, and this is where we see that drive and initiative that we've been talking about just taken to a whole new level.
So he's an online course creator with 9 courses, over 10,000 students, and a 4.5 out of 5 rating. He founded 3 different platforms. It's like he has a secret superpower for squeezing extra hours out of the day.
Right. It really does make you wonder where he finds the time.
Yeah.
But I think it goes beyond time management. It speaks to this deep-seated drive to create and to share his knowledge with other people.
I'm looking at the details here, and he hasn't just created any courses.
Yeah.
He's got courses on financial markets, advanced Excel techniques, Agile methodologies. It's like he took all of his professional expertise and then turned it into these valuable resources for others.
It's a smart move, too. From a career perspective, building a personal brand as an expert in your field can really open up a lot of opportunities. And with over 10,000 students, he's clearly doing something right.
Okay, but this is where I get really impressed.
Okay.
He founded 3 different platforms.
Wow.
There's this social media content creation platform that seems to be focused on helping influencers optimize their strategies.
Again, it ties back to this idea of adding value. He's identifying needs in the market and then creating solutions. And the fact that he built these platforms himself demonstrates a high level of technical skill.
Then there's this website called 3pi.ai, which uses AI to provide investment insights and technical analysis.
Oh, wow.
But we're not talking about basic algorithms here. He's using GPT-3 and GPT Vision, some of the most advanced AI models out there.
Yeah, and for those unfamiliar, GPT-3 and GPT Vision are incredibly powerful AI technologies developed by OpenAI. GPT-3 can generate human-quality text and code, while GPT Vision can analyze images and generate descriptions. Now, what's remarkable here is that Adrian didn't just use these tools he had to learn how to integrate them, how to build an interface, how to translate that complex AI output into actionable insights for investors. That's a serious undertaking.
So it's not just about being tech-savvy. It's about having the vision to see how these technologies can be applied to solve these real-world problems, and then actually having the drive and the skills to build it.
It reminds me of the early days of the internet when people were just starting to figure out what was possible.
Yeah.
Adrian is operating at that same frontier, exploring the potential of AI and creating something entirely new.
All right, and then there's this third platform that he's only listed as skin diagnosis using AI. I'm dying to know more about this one.
Yeah, unfortunately, we don't have a lot of details here, but even the name itself is intriguing. It suggests that he's thinking about how AI can be applied to healthcare, which is a field that's really ripe for disruption. Imagine being able to get an initial diagnosis of a skin condition just by uploading a picture. That could be incredibly valuable, especially for people in remote areas with limited access to dermatologists.
So not only is he pushing the boundaries of technology, he's also thinking about how to use it to make a positive impact on people's lives.
And that's a key takeaway here, I think. Technical skills are important, but they're only truly valuable when they're applied in a meaningful way. And Adrian seems to understand that.
Now, even with all of this, he still manages to find time to volunteer with an organization that teaches children about financial literacy. I mean, seriously, does this guy ever sleep?
It seems unlikely, right? But I think it speaks to something important. He's not just focused on his own success, he's committed to giving back to his community.
Okay, so we've explored his professional achievements, his side hustles, even his volunteer work. It's clear that this guy is like a force of nature. But if we had to sum him up in just a few words, what would you say?
I'd say that Adrian is a highly driven individual with a strong entrepreneurial spirit and a deep commitment to continuous learning and development. He's clearly very comfortable working with data technology and people, and he excels at translating complex concepts into practical solutions.
And what about his future? What kind of trajectory does this resume suggest?
Well, that's the exciting part, right? He's already achieved so much, it's hard to imagine what he'll do next. Given his track record and his passion for pushing boundaries, I wouldn't be surprised to see him, leading his own company, developing some groundbreaking AI solution, or becoming a recognized thought leader in his field. He's certainly someone to watch.
It's incredible to think that we gleaned all of this insight just from his resume.
I know.
It really highlights how much a well-crafted resume can reveal about a person's personality, their values, and their potential.
Yeah, it's like a window into their professional DNA.
Yeah.
But it's important to remember that a resume is just the starting point, right? The real story unfolds when those skills and passions are put into action.
And you know what else is interesting? Even though he's accomplished so much,
Yeah.
there's this sense of humility that comes through in his writing. He's not bragging.
Yeah.
He's simply presenting his achievements in a very clear and compelling way.
Exactly. He lets his work speak for itself.
Yeah.
And that, I think, is a mark of true confidence.
All right, so we spent a lot of time with Adrian's resume, uncovering these hidden talents, analyzing his entrepreneurial ventures, even trying to predict his future. But now I want to hear from you. What stood out to you as particularly impressive or intriguing?
Was there a specific project that sparked your curiosity? Or maybe a skill that you would like to learn more about?
Think about what resonated with you most and why.
Yeah.
What does Adrian's story tell you about the power of self-directed learning or the importance of pursuing your passions even outside of your day job?
We'd love to hear your thoughts. Share your insights with us in the comments or join the discussion on our social media channels.
This has been a fascinating deep dive, and we hope it's inspired you to think about your own potential and the possibilities that exist when you combine your passion, your skills, and a willingness to step outside of your comfort zone.
Remember, Adrian's journey is just one example of what's possible. Your story is waiting to be written.
That's it for today's episode. Thanks for joining us on the deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep pushing yourself to new heights.
And keep diving deep.
It's easy to get caught up in the specifics, right? You see all these impressive achievements and projects. But I think there's a bigger lesson here, something that goes beyond, just building a killer resume.
Yeah, absolutely. It's about mindset. Adrian's resume is really a testament to the power of self-directed learning, taking initiative, and constantly seeking out new challenges.
It's like he's not waiting for these opportunities to come to him.
Right.
He's out there creating his own.
Exactly.
And that's something that we can all learn from, I think.
Yeah.
Regardless of, our career path or our industry.
Absolutely.
Think about it. What's one skill that you've been meaning to learn? Or a project that you've been putting off? Maybe it's time to dust off those dreams and see what you can achieve. Because Adrian's story really shows that, with enough passion and dedication and a willingness to step outside of your comfort zone, you can accomplish incredible things. Who knows? Maybe someday we'll be deep diving into your resume, exploring all the amazing things you've achieved.
Wouldn't that be something? But, even if we don't end up featuring your resume on the show, the real reward is the journey itself. The process of learning, growing, and pushing yourself to new heights.
That's a great point. It's not about the destination, it's about the journey. And who knows what incredible discoveries you'll make along the way.
So to our listener, we leave you with this. What's your next step? What's one small action that you can take today to move a little bit closer to your goals?
Remember, you don't have to have it all figured out. Just start somewhere. Take that online course, build that prototype, reach out to that mentor. Every step, no matter how small, is a step forward.
And who knows, maybe one day we'll be back here marveling at all of your achievements and this unique path that you've carved out for yourself.
That's it for today's deep dive, folks. We hope you enjoy this unique exploration into the world of resumes and personal branding.
Keep learning, keep growing, and keep pushing yourself to new heights.
Until next time, keep diving deep.